Clip number 9, our last one. Now, if you've gotten this far, well done. I'm really pleased that you've taken the effort, and I really do hope you found this helpful. Now, it was me who did all these clips. Why? Well, in partnership with ASCERT, we were keen to put this on a website so people can access it. But this is the 4th edition of Bend Don't Break. We've kept learning from people who have used it and kept telling us what was helpful, and then we made changes for what we needed to add. So if you've gotten this far, well done. Now, what did you hear that was helpful for you? Now, I want you to think about that. Now, it's not about being perfect. It's about effort. And repetition is needed to change any habit, so including the way we talk to ourselves. So practice, practice, practice. When you bring in that effort every day, that's what's going to make a difference. Now, to sum up this work, there's a poem in the book, Attitude by Chuck Swindoll. It's on page 38. And Chuck writes, attitude. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts, more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think, do, or say. It's more important than giftedness, appearance, or skill. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitudes we'll embrace for that day. We cannot change the past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one string we have, and that's our attitude. I'm convinced that life's 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitudes. Now, I came across that poem years ago in a really difficult time in my life, and was hanging up on the doctor's wall, and the doctor very graciously took it off and shared it with me, but it didn't have a name on it. I didn't know who wrote it. And the power of Google, I Googled it, and Chuck Swindoll came up, and he's a pastor down in Texas. And I reached out to Chuck and I said, look, I hope you don't mind, but I've been using your poem Attitude here in Northern Ireland for almost 25 years. He wrote me back and he said, I'm delighted. If it's helping people, keep using it. And to me, that sums up this work. Now, ask yourself, did doing this work help me achieve what I wanted to start? Deal with problems less, be less anxious, improve my mood? Did it give me tools to help me deal with my emotions and thinking? Did catch it, pause it, challenge it, change it? Is that helpful for you? Did it give me ideas to look after myself? Did it help me look at my support? Now, I'm going to ask you, if you could tell one of your friends about it, this booklet, well, what would it be? And to review the work for yourself, there's a little diagram on page 34. It gives you the areas we covered in Bend Don't Break. Where do you see yourselves? And put yourself, the outer circles are the stronger. It tells you where your strengths are and what you could do as a term of an action plan of taking the work forward. So we hope you're able to do that and make use of it. Final thought on page 33, the power of laughter. When we have a good belly up laugh, not only it makes us feel good, will produce a bit of dopamine, but also it'll burn off cortisol, lower your blood pressure, improve your mood. The act of laughter is powerful. So yes, that produces dopamine, so does physical activity, meditation, and laughter. So it is important to have a good laugh every day. Now, a couple of other resources we want to talk about, because putting this work on a digital platform like ASCERT's website or other websites could be helpful. We have two that we want to talk about. Self-compassion, is crucially important because we, in Northern Ireland, we do tend to be far too critical, but also helping our children deal with their big feelings as parents and carers. So on ASCERT's website, there's a whole workbook broken down into clips like this on self-compassion. Have a look under the self-help section, and we hope you find that helpful too. And for parents to help their children deal with their big feelings, Building Our Children's Developing Brain is on the Children and Young People Strategic Partnerships website. They have a youth well-being hub that's under the parents section. So if you're a parent and you want to help your kids with their big emotions, improve that emotional regulation, for them, have a look at that work. Now, the final piece of work, maybe you said, look, I've had a lot of struggles in life. Maybe you want a little bit more. Making use of the polyvagal theory to improve well-being, well, that might even say, well, what's that all about? But it is an evidence-based area of work, and we have a self-help book on our trust website. The address is there. It's also in this skills pack. That if you feel this is useful, and once we finish this bit of work, we're going to do the same of putting the work in that workbook on a clip like this. So, final thing to say, if you want a little bit more, in partnership with ASCERT, we put 4 YouTube clips up there. We've already mentioned the one about how stress and trauma affects our nervous system. We also have one on self-care ideas and dealing with worry and what keeps long-term change going. They all have written material you can download from the YouTube site. Just search my name, Ed Cycler, on YouTube, or go on to ASCERT's website. They're all there. So, final thing. After all you've taken on board, if you've gotten this far, I got to repeat this, well done. But you decide what's useful for you and keep using it. But thank you so much for sticking with us, going this far. And if you can, please, we're going to ask you to click the evaluation button, because feedback is going to help us gauge and steer where do we go with this work in the future. But again, we really hope you did find it helpful. Thank you very much, and I really do wish you well.